Hello again. This is Heidi Ellsworth with Roofers Coffee Shop, and we are here live with Rob Haddock of S5. I have to tell you, I'm a little bit like, this is really an honor that you came over and talked to me and is in our soundstage, because I have watched Rob on numerous webinars, MetalCon Live, bringing such great knowledge to the roofing and building overall metal business. Rob, thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me, Heidi.
Yeah.
I'm honored to be here. You're famous.
So are you. I love it. I tell you what, I would love for you to share with everyone out in Roofers Coffee Shop community and beyond about S5 and what you're doing. Just kind of maybe explain a little bit.
Sure. Where do you want me to start, and how long do we have?
We have
It could be
all
a very
day.
long interview. I don't like to talk about myself or S5, not at all.
Not at all. No. Well, you should be proud, because you are.
My background was in contracting, aside from my cowboy career, which preceded the contracting career, but I couldn't get enough punishment riding bulls, so I got into contracting. And I was in contracting, metal roofing and metal construction in general for a lot of years. And then I retired from that, got into full-time consulting. And as I sort of reflected on the problems that I saw in both arenas, it was quite notable that people have to mount things onto metal roofs.
Yes.
And there was no proper way to do it. And so everything that they mounted on metal roofs caused problems. And I put a metal roof on my own home back in 1984, and in that case, I knew that I needed snow retention on that roof. And I didn't want to buy any of the garbage that was on the market at that time, because I'd installed lots of it and it just didn't work. So I thought there has to be a better way.
Right.
And so that's how it kind of all started. And I invented a clamp to seam technology that really opened a whole new product category in metal roofing. And, I did it selfishly for my own home, right?
Right.
And,
the best ideas come from that.
Yeah, and after I saw how well it worked, and I took it to a lab, I had it load tested and all that sort of stuff. And I realized in that process that I had invented something much bigger than a snow guard. I had invented a way to attach anything virtually to a metal roof in ways that don't violate roof warranties, that don't penetrate standing seam roofs, and that you could attach virtually anything. And so that's how it all started.
Wow. I mean, when you look at what you're doing today, when we really think about safety not just but for the homeowner, and with the wild weather we're having, to be able to have those kind of attachments for snow guards and solar, that's huge. Where are you seeing the market go that way?
Well, that's a big subject, but I'm glad you brought up the issue of safety, because certainly avalanching snow off rooftops can be life-threatening, and people die almost every year from that happening. But in addition to that, the fall protection industry was really getting underway in the mid to late 90s. And this product technology was invented in 91, patented in 92, and subsequent patents following that. But we found a home with in fall protection applications.
Yeah.
And people started calling us from Western Europe, and which is kind of where fall protection systems originated. And so that's one of our core markets, is anchoring static lifelines. Aside from that, as you well know, solar is a big part of our business. So any application, where people are mounting things on roofs, snow retention is one, certainly. Solar is another one. Fall protection is another one. HVAC is another one. Signage is another one.
Signage,
Lightning protection is another one. communications equipment and cameras and security equipment that's roof mounted.
All the satellite that go out in these rural places that you and I both live in. Yeah. It's
right.
Yeah, all that has to go up there.
Right. So I forget what your question was now that I've answered it. Did I answer it enough?
You did. And I have to say, and we've been working a lot together, and you have an amazing team over there. We've been doing so many articles and working through it, and Fiona's way she writes and her articles are so great. But I hadn't even realized about the safety thing, and so we got to get that on. We got to focus on that on the site, because I know we've been doing a lot with solar and snow retention, but people are looking for those solutions on the safety every day.
Yeah, and safety plays into solar as well, because if a solar array gets airborne in a windstorm, it can be pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
So aside from property loss and property damage, there are life safety issues involved with solar as well. And the unique thing about our company is that we thoroughly test everything we make. And we test it so that it can be engineered. Any application can be engineered to resist the forces of nature that are trying to make it fail.
Yeah.
And so the beauty of our product is all the engineering data and all the test data that is behind everything we make.
When you look at what's going on right now with high winds, straight line winds across the country, hurricanes, the snows. I know in Colorado you have tons of snow. We had so much snow in Oregon up in the mountains, and it's a changing, I don't care what you call it, climate change or not, but there is a change. There's more extreme events. So it has to be tested, and probably continually tested.
Agreed. Well, the testing that we do is roof panel profile specific, manufacturer specific, gauge specific, and material specific. So the holding strength of our parts, or anyone's, whether they're mounting it on exactly the same seam, but that material is aluminum or steel or copper or zinc, they're all going to produce different holding strengths.
Yes.
So that's why we have to do such extensive testing, and we've done well over 3,000 individual load tests on 500 different panel profiles, manufacturers, gauge thicknesses, and so on, because they all produce different results. But you mentioned a while ago the wind aspect, and you just mentioned it again. And wind standards are changing, as you're probably aware. ASCE 7, which is the engineering Bible, if you will, for wind and other things, has changed with respect to wind. And design wind speeds have been increased. They've been more meticulously mapped, and the effects of wind that translate into uplift pressures on a roof and different zones of a roof, that's all been redone now with the new version of ASCE 7, and it's been increased.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people have roofs that were built in accordance with code 10 years ago or even 5 years ago, and now they're not code compliant.
Wow.
And so our wind clamps are designed to
make them more compliant.
To increase the resistance to blow off of standing seam metal roofs. And in some cases, we increase the capacity of that roof to withstand those negative loads up to 3 and even 4x.
Wow. Wow.
And they have to do nothing to their roof other than to go and retrofit some of our clamps on the seams and on the clips, and usually in just certain zones of the roof.
Yeah. That's, for a contractor, if you are doing metal roofs and this is happening, this actually becomes an opportunity to go back to past customers and let them know that their roof is no longer code compliant, that they can get in there, they can help them, they can take your clamps, they can help keep that house safe. And I would think that would be a great business opportunity.
It would be. Of course, we don't directly tap into that opportunity.
Yeah.
We make our products available and we try to educate people how to use them and so on. But you're right. I mean, it is a big opportunity, and it's not constrained to residential applications. I mean, the commercial industrial market, there are huge buildings out there that are not code compliant now with these new standards.
Yeah.
And they can be made code compliant for really pennies a square foot.
Yeah, that's a business model right there. I know everybody's so busy that maybe they aren't doing it, but if you're waiting for other materials that you aren't able to get, you can start working on some of these retrofits. I think that's I don't know. We need to write on that.
You could. I mean, some entrepreneurial contractors could certainly bite onto that.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, let's talk just a little bit about MetalCon. You're very active with the MCA. You're very active at MetalCon. You're going to be doing a number of seminars. It's in October. Why should roofing contractors go to MetalCon?
Well, it is the only show really in the U.S. that's dedicated entirely to metal construction. And of course, you being very involved in the roofing industry know that a huge part of that show is directed at metal roofing.
Yes.
And metal roofing is growing in popularity for good reasons. And this is a venue where attendees can find out everything they want to learn about metal roofing, whether it's a contractor who is expanding his business and has been doing flat roofing or asphalt shingles or whatever, and wanting to get into metal. I mean, there is a drive there because there's an increased demand for metal roofing. And so they can learn there. So it's a learning experience. It's expanding the knowledge you already have. There are equipment suppliers there. There are roll forming equipment suppliers and folding and fabrication equipment suppliers there. And it's a good educational forum just to learn more than you knew before.
Yeah, I really think contractors' diversification is so important to be able, and if you're looking to move to do more metal roofing, this is the perfect place to go to learn about it, to get the education, and not just in how, but also how to sell it, how to market it, all those different things. And if you're already doing metal or have a sheet metal shop, this is the place, because all the new equipment, all the new technology, they have a technology forum, an area just for technology that you can bring into your business.
Yeah, and another thing, I mean, solar is not going away.
No.
The solar revolution is here to stay. It's gaining in speed, and the big driver should be your roof type, because the metal roof is the only roof in either the commercial or residential market that will outlive the solar. And so this year, MetalCon has quite a focus, as I think you're aware, on solar.
Yes.
So it's the marriage of solar and metal, and what are the benefits of that marriage.
Right.
And there's a bunch of educational stuff and roundtables and so on discussing those topics. But if a person intends to put solar on their roof, whether now or at any point in the future, there's really only one roof type that ought to be considered, because there's only one roof type that'll outlive the solar.
Right, and it's truly sustainable.
Amen.
That's the thing. I mean, when you look at that, it is the way of the future. So getting into metal and learning what's going on is so important. So I really encourage you to go. S5 is a huge sponsor. I think you're sponsoring the Solar Pavilion, right?
I think we are.
I think you are, yeah. I know. We both need to check. But Rob, thank you. Thank you so much. I look forward to spending some more time at MetalCon. We'll be there. Roofers Coffee Shop will be right outside the educational area. So
always a pleasure, Heidi. I enjoy your company. I enjoy your questions.
Thank you.
It's all good, and I'll see you there in October.
We'll see you there. Yes, in October. And please visit S5 on Roofers Coffee Shop. They have amazing articles. information in their directory. There is so much, and that will get you to their site where you can find out more information on all these opportunities for business. Really, it's a way to expand your business. And stay tuned, because we have more of these live conversations coming up. We're making it all about you, bringing you to the IRE so you aren't missing a thing. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.